Hey Bonnie, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make the celebration at Lakewood Yacht Club this weekend. We're in Brunswick, Georgia, a place I first heard about from Tom and that I know you're familiar with. We'll be sailing to Florida tomorrow and looking for a weather window to cross to the Bahamas and eventually to the Caribbean. Um, as much as I wish I could be there, I wanted to still share a story about Tom. Um, I think we had the Houston Fire Department in common for sure, and we told each other a lot of stories about that. But I think our my favorite time with Tom was definitely on the water aboard y'all's boat Topaz, and the best trip. Even though we did some Harvest Moon regattas together, was definitely a trip for me, at least, from Key West to Mexico. I flew down to Key West and met two guys that I'd never met before that were also crewing with Tom, Carl and Ash. And these two characters were so fun to be with and get to know. So we just did what any logical sailors would do and crawled around the bars of Key West to get to know each other. And we did. And a couple days later, we set sail on Topaz from Key West, and we sailed about 90 miles to a place called Fort Jefferson, which is kind of like the last outpost in the Florida Keys. Fort Jefferson was a military fort built in the mid-1800s. It's an impressive masonry structure, and we got to go all through it and check it out. And while we were there, Carl and I wanted to explore some of these beautiful waters and go snorkeling and go see the lighthouse at Garden Key. Well, Tom, he was preoccupied with systems on the boat, making sure everything was in peak operating condition before our crossing to Mexico. So he decided, y'all go ahead, I'll stay here. Ron Elias used to say that Tom replaced systems on the boat that weren't broke just because he wanted to replace them. And that's absolutely accurate. So Carl and I jumped in the dinghy and headed 3 miles to Garden Key, checked out the lighthouse, did some snorkeling, and went on a long trip looking for this sunken boat, which we never found. But we burned a lot of fuel. And when we left with about 2 gallons of gas in the dinghy, I think we returned with about 2 ounces. So luckily we made it back to Topaz. Otherwise we'd have been paddling out in the open water. But as we arrived, Tom was on deck waving his arms, and you would think, asking how the trip was and, was everything okay? But no, he wanted to know how much fuel was left. Did we burn all the fuel? And why did we take his dinghy for so long? But that was Tom. We continued on the trip. We made it to Mexico, and we had a grand time checking out Isla Mujeres, the beaches, and the cruiser bars. Carl did some tequila shots, and we enjoyed getting to meet other people. And here's Carl trying to ask for another beer. Or no, that's Ash asking for another beer. But Tom did what a lot of people say they want to do, but never do. And that's take his boat across open water, the Gulf and Atlantic waters, and explore. He has really been an inspiration for Lisa and I to try to do the same, to not wait, to get out there and do that. I attribute a lot of what we're doing today to Tom Frankum. So thank you for having a celebration, and cheers to Tom. Hope you all have a great celebration.